Hello, and welcome to episode 128 of Afterglow. On this episode, we're going to be staying with the retro stuff, 16-bit era, Super Nintendo. But this one's going to be a classic, another classic. I do think Smash TV is a classic. But we got another one with Super Mario Kart. This was a great little racing game. It didn't have the speed that F-Zero had, but the multiplayer really helped it. And me and my guest, which we'll be introducing here in a few, are going to be talking about that in this episode. First, though, a couple minor format changes for the show. I'm working a ton here lately. It's kind of why the episodes are kind of rolling out a little slower than they usually do. So to help me with the editing process, I've pre-recorded the Patreon segment. From now on, I'm going to update it if we get new patrons, but I'm going to have that be a pre-recorded segment that I just drop in the show. And the ad block that I usually run at the end, I usually mix them up a little bit. I've turned that into one file to drop at the end of every show, and I will alter those ads as needed, as requested by our friends of the show, or if we get new ones on there. Just a couple minor changes to keep the show rolling and to make sure that I can edit these quicker and maybe continue to get them out at a halfway reasonable clip. But that being said, I do have a commercial or two that we're going to run on top of the music, but we're going to be dropping into all of that right after our Patreon segment. Helping to bring Afterglow to you are the following patrons that have subscribed to us at the $1 tier, getting them a shout out in every episode. We have Poppy the Masked Keaton, OCD in every RPG, and Texan Toby with Big Red Flavor. If you also want to support the show through Patreon, you can just go to the show notes links. They will be in the show description. There should be a link tree there, and in that link tree you will find a link to the Patreon. But, of course, the show will always remain free to listen to. You can also help support the show just by leaving a review wherever you're listening to, be it Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify Podcasts. Just leave a review, leave a comment. That's one of the easiest ways to help the show without even having to spend a dime. But thank you for listening, and now on with the show.
Let's go racing! It's Super Mario Kart Funny Car Madness! Only on Super NES! Turn the track into a giant mud pit! Or burn rubber on ice, wood, or asphalt! Fly! Mix it up with the big boys! See Bowser in his Bigfoot-dropping truck! See Yoshi's go-kart really go! Mushrooms, banana peels, turtle shells! Dynamite! Check your rear view and make him eat dust! Or go into battle mode and ruin his day! 2 speeds! Fast and way too fast! It's 2-player fun on the split screen! Only for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System! Now you're playing with power, superpower!
And welcome back. I am joined by a guest that's new to the podcast this week. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Berg. We met on the Secret Levels podcast Discord.
We got a lot of guests that actually have come on from Levels, quite a few. As a matter of fact, I think the only guests that have been on the show that have not come on from Levels are probably NES Johnny and Eep. I want to say are the only two.
I was gonna say this is like it's like a farm.
Right.
Just go in and harvest a member of the Secret Levels Discord community, and then just say, hey, come over here. We're all friends. It's all good. I'm honored. I've listened to your show before. I love listening to you talk about all my favorite retro games. So I was very excited to get a chance to come on your show.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm trying to think. So I know Levels has been on a little bit of a break. I want to say like maybe 3 months or so. Just need some time to recharge the batteries. So
yeah,
wonder what other Discord members over there I can snipe.
I was gonna say there's probably a few who haven't been on, so we can we'll snag a few. Now that I've actually come onto the show, I can then use that to like start harvesting people. It's like a vampire. You're like the head vampire, and you're like turning us all into afterglow vampires.
He's saying I suck a lot.
No.
So, you do have your another podcast you're on as well, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Speaking of podcasts that are on hiatus, I am a co-host of the Zing This podcast. We've been on hiatus for quite some time. I don't think the show is over. There's always the possibility of coming back, but myself, my friend Zinger, his lovely wife Ellie, we are a nerdy pop culture podcast. We talk video games, but we also talk comics, movies, books, video games, TV shows, all sorts of manner of nerdy topics. So, we used to record regularly, and then life gets in the way. You know how it is. So, been on a bit of a hiatus, and there's been talk of, every once in a while maybe coming back and doing a show. Haven't done any recently, but you never know. But there's 300 and some episodes on your favorite podcasting platform. So go check out Zing This, Zeng this, and hear this lovely voice.
A huge backlog to check out. Plus, breaks are good for everyone, just to recharge the batteries and whatnot.
Yep.
So this one, we are talking about Mario Kart, as one can tell from the title of the episode. My first experience with it was a rental. What was yours?
It was my friend. So this came out when I was in 3rd grade, and my friend Justin Cate. It was his 9th birthday. We went roller skating, and then we came back to his house, and we all ate pizza, and then he got Super Mario Kart for his birthday, and we all played it. And that was my first time playing it. I'd seen the commercials, but I'm like, all right, this game's pretty sweet.
It's funny, because the commercial I most remember Mario Kart isn't from Nintendo. It was from Sega.
Oh, yes, for the one racing game where it was like, here's an F1 car, then here's Mario Kart, and it was like on the back of like some like delivery truck that was like smoking and everything like that.
Yeah, like for some reason that is a commercial I connect with Mario Kart more than any actual Mario Kart commercial. I will have to find that and play it for one of the sound clips.
I was gonna say, I remember that commercial very well.
Well, that was my experience with it, although I did get a laugh as I got older. It's kind of funny that Sega chose Mario Kart, not F-Zero. Kind of makes you wonder, don't it? But I really did enjoy this game. It was one of the first games that had like a rear view mirror mode, where if you had a opponent coming up behind you, it would switch to the rear view automatically if they're firing an item at you. And that was for the single player. Of course, it had a really fun multiplayer mode with the 3 balloons.
Oh, so much fun! Introduction of a long-standing Mario Kart tradition.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting why it was slower than F-Zero. It was all because of the multiplayer.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I always forget that the first F-Zero was not multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean, I really wish we could have got that speed, but they ended up, due to the limitations of the console, the tracks had to be smaller
Yeah.
to be able to handle multiplayer. But man, split screen multiplayer, either racing or battle mode, it was such a blast.
Yeah. So much fun. So many good memories.
The first one, the tracks are split up in themes almost. You've got like the grass theme, the desert theme, the castle theme. There's like an island theme, and then of course you've got the Rainbow Road theme. Is there any I'm forgetting, or is that most of them? There's the ice theme.
Right. Wasn't there a haunted house theme?
Yes, there was.
I was gonna say I remember. I was like, am I thinking of N64? But no, I was like, no, I remember because it had the Boo sprites that were like directly ripped from Super Mario World. I always thought that was really cool, where they were like floating above.
Yeah, but even though a lot of the tracks were based off of like 6 themes or so, there's definitely enough variety in here to keep you going for a while.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A few interesting, unique features that were in this one that didn't really carry on. The question blocks to pick up your items start built into the track, and you can actually like use them up. They don't respawn every lap.
Right, and that's a strategic thing because it's like you're sitting there. Yeah, think about like all the other subsequent Mario Karts. It's like, oh, that son of a bitch 50 meters ahead of me got that question mark block, but it was like, oh, if you time it right, you can just pick the next one that spawns up. But yeah, you're right. I forgot. It was like when I was playing it, it was one of those things where I was like, wait a second, there was supposed to be an item there. I'm like, oh, that's right. The question block it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a strategic decision due to the Super Nintendo limitations, because you can only have so many sprites going with Mode 7 going at the same time.
Right.
If I had to guess, it might be why. Because that's a change that was made with Mario 64, and later on you had your blocks up off the track.
Yeah, floating there.
Speaking of floating, the controls for this game, to me, whenever I went back to replay, they feel a bit floaty compared to later entries. What did you think?
Agreed. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have a lot of nostalgia for this game, but man, I find it actually really hard coming from literally any other Mario Kart, because I mean, even 64 was such a leap, and just where they introduced just kind of what we know as like modern drifting, and even though that has changed some and kind of evolved, like it was just such a great natural evolution going to that I've had a really hard time, like when I've played it, whether it's been on original hardware, the Super NES classic mini console thing, or like on NSO, Virtual Console, anything like that. I feel like anytime I've gone to play it, I'm like, wow, this is kind of rough. And you're right, it's very floaty, very like, yeah, because you think about it with Mode 7, it's like you're not so much controlling the character, but you're controlling the actual track. The way Mode 7 works. So it's kind of like, it's weird. Like, it just feels kind of off when you're used to what we have now.
Yeah, and that's why the tracks are so much shorter in this one, is because in multiplayer, it's having to do the math for 2 Mode 7 models at the same time, right. And due to that math being a little bit more complex than the standard math of a game, it required them to make the tracks a bit smaller compared to F-Zero. But multiplayer is where it's at with this game.
Yes, absolutely.
What was your last multiplayer experience with this one that you remember?
Gosh, I mean, I think it was... this was actually within the past, I guess, decade or so, actually. It was one of my coworkers at my old job had one of the Super NES Minis, and he was so I used to work at a TV station, and he was one of our sports reporters, and he was like hardcore into the Olympics, and he had like an Olympic viewing party for the winter 2016.
Right on.
Either way, one of the Olympics in the past decade or so. He had a bunch of us over, and he's because he's a sports guy, he has multiple TVs. Like, he's got his main one in his living room, and he had like several other ones. And so on one of them, he had his Super NES Mini, and we were all hanging out, and it was like in between events, and we're like, "Hey, let's play some Mario or some Super Mario Kart." And so we booted it up, and we were playing it, and we did a few races, and then we did a few battle modes. So it was a lot of fun, and I was like, "Okay, this is kind of fun when you're playing with some people." I haven't done this specific version of Mario Kart since I was a little bit younger than this, but so it was when I was an adult. But even then, it's been a decade or so probably since that happened, so it's been a bit, but it wasn't when I was a kid. It's been a little bit since then.
For me, for multiplayer, it was whenever I was a kid. But man, just you can see the building blocks for the rest of the series in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have a favorite character?
Like most Mario Karts, I gravitate toward Yoshi.
Okay. For some reason, this one, it's the Koopa Troopa for me.
Nice.
It's always been my pick for some reason. Couldn't tell you why.
And then you got to 64 and you're like, no, there's no Koopa Troopa.
yeah, that hurt a little bit. So, do you have a favorite track?
I'm just going to go straight to the end. I love Rainbow Road. I love the Rainbow Road in this game because it's so different from all the other ones. It's cool looking, but the music in Rainbow Road on Super NES is not only my favorite music track in the game, probably if you take the whole Mario Kart series, it's probably one of my favorite songs because it's just so catchy, and I love it. Like when I was a kid, when I would like rent this or I borrowed it from a friend or thing, I would just race Rainbow Road constantly just to listen to the music because I just thought it was such a good track.
I actually prefer this Rainbow Road over the 64 version just because the Super Nintendo didn't have the guardrails.
Right, exactly. I was gonna say it is a true challenge for sure. Plus the C4 one, it's a fun track.
Yeah, it's a blast to play. Are we still here or did I lose you?
I heard the thing go.
Oh, weird. I am still here.
I was gonna say I am too, but it looks like it's still going, and I'm recording on my end too. So if you need afterwards, if anything's weird, let me know. But
right on.
Yep, looks like we're back though.
Sweet. So we've discussed our favorite tracks. So as far as my favorite, I did like the Bowser Castle levels. I felt like the lava and the thwomps added a little bit to it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Legacy-wise, what I found kind of interesting, it's not a cheap game to buy, and I thought it would be cheap because it was like dirt common back in the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say I forgot. I couldn't remember if you did a secret levels money thing, guess the game kind of thing like they do. But how much is this
every
game?
once in a while. On the average, it's about $40.
That's pretty pricey for a somewhat common game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. For what I considered a common Super game, like they've got one up on eBay for 30 plus 5 shipping, and the label is like nuked on it.
Huh. It's so weird. I think about a game like Uniracers, which is had the whole Pixar lawsuit thing, and that game that's never been re-released. It's kind of a rarity. They had to like pull it off of store shelves, and yet you can get that pretty cheap. So that surprises me that something like Super Mario Kart would be a little pricier.
I think a lot of it is down to name recognition too. Like Uniracers, right now I'm looking at one for $25.
Yeah, when I picked it up used a couple years ago, that's about what I paid, give or take.
I think a lot of it is a popularity thing, because you take a game like Chrono Trigger, it is not a rare game at all. They printed a lot of those. Yet it's like, $200 these days.
I still have mine complete in box that I got from Blockbuster when they were clearing out their Super NES inventory, and like complete with all the posters and stuff. It was, last I checked on some sites, like it was in like the $700-800 range. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, like even the DS version, which I think is a superior version, it's like $100.
Mm-hmm.
Which I remember buying it for like $10 from a rental store. So,
right.
Oh, world's crazy with some of these prices.
Yeah, it is. Seriously.
Legacy of Mario Kart. We did discuss how the original is like the stepping stone for a lot of stuff of the newer ones. What would be your favorite in Mario Kart?
Whew, I mean, 8/8 Deluxe, I think, is just the pinnacle of like traditional Mario Kart. I mean, it feels good, it looks great, especially when they had the Switch version Deluxe, which they added in basically a second game's worth of tracks as DLC, which I thought was really cool. But I mean, I also like World. World's a lot of fun. It's such a new, interesting thing. Like, I know some people, like, it got some, mixed reaction from people. I personally really liked it. I think the open world concept is kind of cool. Yes, sometimes there are big stretches that are kind of maybe devoid of, like, life/characters, but it's still fun to explore. I'm someone who generally loves a good game where I can just kind of explore and just kind of walk around, jump around, or in the case of Mario Kart, drive around. So, yeah, I mean, I know they're the two most recent versions of Mario Kart, but I really feel like they both do things that really either kind of put the pure Mario Kart formula at its peak, or like really do something that's completely different and off rails compared to what's come before it.
My answer might catch you off guard a little bit. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit is probably my favorite.
That's awesome. I never got around to playing that, but it looked like if you have the room to like really set something up for that, like that would be a lot of fun.
I got one and it's amazing. And I only had the one car with it. I never got the second one. I really wanted to. But man, it was a blast just setting up the track how you wanted. You could do like the AR racers against you on the track.
Right.
And yeah, it was just a blast.
Nice. Yeah, when that came out, at the time, we didn't have our house. We lived in an apartment, and we didn't have a ton of room. And so I was like, I wouldn't get much use out of this. Like, the cart would be a cool display piece, but I was like, I'd like to actually do it. And I remember, I feel like there was a point where it was like kind of going out and you could get it cheap, and I never picked it up. But
yeah,
I remember
it did go a bit cheaper. There was someone on YouTube, here we go, it's a channel called Game Nerds. They did a Mario Kart Live in their warehouse.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. I bet that's amazing.
Oh yeah, like they did like cardboard ramps and everything. But easily the thing that I feel like maybe they could have went further if they would have done a second version or patched it a little bit. I do know that if you had the Club Nintendo thing at the time, you could get a pack of like different foldable paper objects to add to your course.
That's right. I remember that.
I miss old school Club Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to rant, but they had some of the coolest stuff. The DS Game & Watch collection games.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Those were great. The actual replica Game & Watch for Ball is really good. It's a shame that they got rid of that. I was getting ready to say outgrew it, but they didn't outgrow it. They just took it away.
And like now, it's like they have the whole like platinum point system, and you can use that towards physical rewards. Like, but you have to go to the Nintendo website, and there's some okay things, but it's not Club Nintendo stuff. Like that was like in a league of its own. Like there's some really, really cool stuff you could get from them. You're right.
Yeah, I still got a few things I got from them. The clear Mario playing cards. There was a
yep, I have those.
There was a 3DS game case that was the size of a regular 3DS case, but it held like 18 games or something.
Yep, I have one of those. It's super handy for like traveling.
Yep. That's something I was kind of shocked that they didn't manufacture just as an accessory, but...
Right, because they did Switch versions too, and I remember ordering 2 of those because they're like same thing, same size as the Switch case, and it held... I can't remember how many games, but I don't think I ever ended up using it, because I have a carrying case that has slots for cartridges anyway, so I just did that, but similar thing, they did that. But those were nifty. Those were really nifty. I had the... one of my things I have is when... Phantom Hourglass, Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass came out, you could get a DS stylus. It was clear plastic, and it looked like a quill that you can write with.
Oh, that's cool.
It came in like a little box. And I just remember it was one of those where like it went up, had a foo. It wasn't worth that many points or whatever they used for. And I remember just snagging it, and then it was like one of those things where I found out later, like they didn't make any. So like, if you got one of these, you like really lucked out. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I really lucked out.
So apparently, Club Nintendo for Mario Kart also had trophies that you could get.
Huh.
I'm on eBay. There was there's a Koopa Shell one I'm looking at for $230.
I was just about to say I remember the turtle shell one, the Koopa Shell one for sure.
Apparently they're limited. This one is stamped number 1307, now 1548.
Huh.
But there's also that was for Mario Kart 7. There's a few in here for Mario Kart 8 as well, but those are even. Oh wait, no, these might be something else because they're obscenely priced. 2023 Mario Kart's Championship Trophy. Grand prize $10,000.
Ooh.
And then apparently the first prize winner is selling theirs as well for $3,500. Well, they're being sold by the same guy, so that's I don't know how the same guy got the grand prize and first place, but hey.
Right. Sounds like there's some scandal at the Mario Kart track.
Right. You can also get a Mario Kart trophy from Universal Studios Super Nintendo World for $60.
Well, looks like I got to plan myself a little trip then.
I couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
Oh, if you want all of the trophies from Mario Kart 7 from Club Nintendo, price of $3,818.
That's chump change. That's chump change.
Yeah, I mean, you could choose between the used car or
or hear me out.
I'm glad I own a 3D printer. That's all I'm saying.
No one's the wiser.
Sand it, get some spray paint. Good to go.
I was gonna say, it'll look great. It'll look great.
So, as far as legacy, is there any particular things from the first Mario Kart that have carried over that you think stand out?
I mean, really, just even though it wasn't the first one, just kind of the whole concept of really popularizing the mascot kart racer. There have been so many other kart racers since then, and I kind of did briefly look this up, and there were some prior to Mario Kart, but Super Mario Kart really was the one that kind of put them on the map, and I feel like the legacy really goes out to, I mean, if you're playing Crash Team Racing, or Hello Kitty Racers, or Smurfs Racing, or, any of those, Diddy Kong Racing. I love Diddy Kong Racing. That's like one of my favorite N64 games. You have the DNA of Mario Kart in there, so I think from forth the loins of Super Mario Kart came an entire subgenre of racing that, I mean, has, it's spawned some good games. I don't want to say imitations, because I think there are some that, some do basically go as cheap and basic as possible, but some do some really fun, interesting things. And as someone who I don't mind the occasional racing simulator, like, a Gran Turismo or something like that. But for me, if I want to race a game, I want to be a goofy-looking character in a little cart or a weird vehicle that I can shoot bombs and turtle shells and stuff from. So, for me, I would say it's just basically the popularization and kind of the foundation of what has come forth since in terms of kart racers.
I can say I am overjoyed that Hello Kitty Kart Racing got a mention before Sonic All-Stars Racing.
I was even thinking of that in my head. I was thinking of that game, and I was like, you know what? I'll save that for another time.
Only the true believers and true achievers have played Hello Kitty Kart Racing.
Yes. I think Toby from Secret Levels one night, I think he was the one who convinced us all to buy it. Or no, it was the Garfield kart racer. And it was horrible. And then we all downloaded the Hello Kitty one, and while it wasn't great, it wasn't bad. And we were like, Hello Kitty is much better as a kart racer than Garfield is.
The sad part, I had to Google that just to see if it existed, and sure enough.
Yep, that was there. That was there. Both of them. Love you, Toby.
Oh man. But Super Mario Kart was popular enough to get a Platinum Hits release in Super Nintendo.
Yes, yes.
Which is funny because now the used price costs more than the Platinum Hits version costs brand new in the box.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Right, it's really bizarre to me how much it costs for the fact that this had multiple releases on the Super Nintendo. You'd almost be better off buying a Super Nintendo Classic than you would buying this game.
Right?
Just get the Classic. It comes with it and a bunch of others. Now I have to look at how much a SNES Classic is. See if I've made a horrible mistake. No, you can get a Super Nintendo Classic. Well, those are all for bids. Hey, there's a buy it now for $90. There's a buy it now for $80. So yeah, for the price of 2 copies of Mario Kart, you can get 20 some odd Super Nintendo games.
That is hackable, and you can put more games on. The Afterglow podcast does not condone hacking. Wink,
yeah, we
wink.
do. Yeah, we do.
I was gonna say, let's put the disclaimer, but I'll let you say no. Please hack away.
Listeners of this podcast are very well aware. But yeah, and even better, the Super Nintendo one comes with 2 controllers. It's not like the regular Nintendo one where you have to source a second one.
Mm-hmm.
I do wish they would have done the N64 Mini.
That would have been cool. At the time, I remember thinking they'll never do it because so much of the N64 is about like multiplayer and 4 players that I was like, that would be super expensive having to come with 4 N64 controllers or produce a bunch. Then I was thinking like, oh, there might be issues with the rights because Rare made so many outside of Nintendo, like the biggest games, most of them were from Rare, and I was like, well, there's that whole issue. And this is before Nintendo and Microsoft started playing nice together, and now like all these Rare games are like on NSO, and we've got Banjo Kazooie and Smash Brothers, stuff like that. So I feel like now like it might be more feasible to do that.
Right. I don't think we're getting one because I feel like a Game Boy Classic Edition could have been a thing too. Instead, we got the Lego Game Boy.
To be fair, is pretty sweet. And you can then mod to make it to a Game Boy.
Yes, you can indeed, which I think is cool. I wish they would have done the Classic for it.
Yeah.
A Game Boy Color would have been even better, but if nothing else, the original Game Boy.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, with my history of Mario Kart, interestingly enough, my second Mario Kart game was not Mario Kart 64, but it was Mario Kart Advance.
Nice. That's one I have not played a ton of. I didn't have a Game Boy Advance, so I kind of missed out on that whole handheld generation. But it's been released since then on like, again, NSO, that kind of stuff like that. So I've dabbled in it a little bit just to play it. And then of course most of those courses have been remade and made appearances in future Mario Kart, so I've gotten to experience them there as well. But yeah, I never actually played that one when it was out.
Funny you bring that up too, because I never had an N64, so my Mario Kart 64 experience was indeed due to piracy. Remember the emulator was Ultra HLE. But I was playing some Mario Kart in, I believe, 99 or 2000 on it.
Nice.
Yar, matey. I had a PlayStation at the time. I couldn't afford 2 consoles.
I was gonna say, I feel like that was kind of the case until like as us as gamers started growing up and having families and stuff like that. Then I feel like it's become more of it's an adult hobby / it's a parent's hobby, and so kids are like kind of growing up in worlds where their parents might have all the consoles and they have access to all the consoles, and like, yeah, but back in our day, you picked one or the other.
Well,
Or
for
in
for
that
most
case,
of
the
us.
third. Yeah. Some people had two, but I feel like, or they would have like the older ones. But for the most part, like I remember, you were Super Nintendo or you were Sega.
Shout out to Chris Copeland from the Retro Hangover podcast for his 3 console Christmas.
Yep.
Bastard.
What a lucky guy.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah,
So,
I'd flip my shit.
oh yeah, and he's always got like, I think the story is it wasn't actually 3 because he got one and like his sibling got one or something like that. It's like, no, they're all in the same household.
Right, exactly.
Good times. So, any other factoids about the original Mario Kart you want?
You hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. It's sounded like it went out for a second, so we'll pick that back up. One thing I read that I thought was kind of cool is like I always like reading about the development of games, especially back in the day when it was like no internet, it just games appeared out of nowhere and you never got to see like interviews and documents and beta versions. But just it was interesting how it was sort of like started off as just a regular racer, like you were saying, kind of based off of F-Zero, but more multiplayer focused, and they had like generic racers. Like I remember reading that and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then they were like, let's put Mario in it. So, there's another world where this was not Mario themed. There's an alternate reality where it was like a generic bunch of people, or maybe they created all new characters and it became like its own like spin-off franchise. But no, they're like, let's put Mario in, and then the rest is history.
I'll come up with a few oddball factoids. It was on the cover of Nintendo Power 41. If you look at the cover, Mario is in last place.
Uh-oh. Losing his own game.
And for some reason, he's waving a green flag.
Weird.
Yeah, not a clue where the flag came from. But did find that interesting. The next issue that Mario Kart got on the cover was issue 93. So there's actually a decent period of time between the first and second one. Of course, I'm looking at the N64 one for that one. Then, to close this out, I'm going to look up some review scores, if I can find them, for Mario Kart. Of course, I'm looking at high score records, which, speaking of which, you should check out Summoning Salt's video of Mario Kart on YouTube. It's very interesting how some of these guys use, like, clipping techniques to get lap records. And then there's some to where you can go out of bounds, and when you go out of bounds and then Lakitu picks you up, he'll move you to a point to where you just get a lap in like 5 or 6 seconds. It's crazy.
That's cool. I've seen that with some of the newer Mario Karts, but I guess that, and well, by newer, I mean newer than this one, but I guess it's kind of an interesting thing when you're doing it all in mode 7 and it's not like a true 3D space, so interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of wild. Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo has an average score of 93%. That's with 3 reviews, one from Nintendo Magazine System, one from Superplay, and one from GameZone. The official Nintendo magazine gave the Wii U version a 92. I don't know why that's thrown in here, but it's in here. Looking to see if there's any others. Trying to find the Nintendo Power one, but I might not be able to dig it up fast enough. Yeah, I'm not able to dig it up fast enough. I look for a review score. It gives me a auction of the magazine Nintendo Power that had Mario Kart in it.
Nintendo Power, Nintendo's own magazine in North America, probably gave it a pretty good review if I had to wager.
No, It's a 4 out of 10.
Well, yeah, this isn't gonna amount to much. Sure, it's on the cover, all that stuff, but you know, kind of stuff.
I can tell you that the magazine itself on the auction site is sealed in an acrylic container and is rated 7.5. Surely Nintendo Power rated it better than that.
Yeah.
All right, so give me just a second. I'm going to actually pull up issue 41 on Archive. And we're just going to look it up real quick, because why not? Issue 41 is loading. Here we are. Which, by the way, for anyone wanting to check out some old Nintendo, go to archive.org. Upload that has all of them on it. Also featured in the episode, or in that magazine episode, Power Blade 2, which is a great game in its own right. Spider-Man Revenge of the Sinister Six, which is not a great game in its own right. You get a Link to the Past comic, which is kind of cool. Well, we're going through pretty deep in order to get to this review score.
I know, I'm sitting there and I keep thinking, I'm like, where is it? Where is it? And we're like on Super Play Action Football, and still no review scores.
Yeah, there's a Super Mario World comic as well. I miss the comics that they did.
I know.
They need to bring those back. Instead, you gotta go with movies instead, made by a company that turns it into a big old commercial, from what I've overheard.
Okay, I got to the article about Mario Kart.
Yeah, I'm in the article
Okay,
too, but I don't see a review score.
I feel
Sure,
like
dude.
it's usually like later. Okay, we're now playing. I feel like they always save the reviews for like the very end of the magazine.
So I say, surely if they
and we're at the end. Oh, come on!
Hey, here we go. I have here we go. Well, now I gotta zoom in though. Let's zoom in on that. It's towards the back. I'm on page 114. Your guide to the latest releases: Super Mario Kart, Nintendo. Power meter ratings is a 4.4, a 3.9, a 4.5, and a 4.4.
It's not loading properly on my phone. It like keeps skipping past that page. So okay, there we go. I'll take your word for it.
So, well, it looks like on the average would be a 4.4, except 3.9 kind of pulls it down a little bit.
They're like, not good enough.
Interesting, though, that I would have honestly thought it would have done a bit higher than that. Of course, you'd have to look in later releases to see how the game did. Obviously, it did really well, considering the fact it got a re-release.
Yeah.
But before I close out, we'll do one more hunt. These are always fun to do online. I want to see what EGM gave it, if I can find it real quick. Might not be able to.
You know what? Wait a minute. I'm on the Wikipedia page because I was looking it up yesterday. They usually give all the scores for magazines. Or from magazines and I can't talk. Publications, that thing. Come on, where are we? Here we go. There's game rankings. Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
There we go. Computer and video games gave it a 96%. EGM gave it a 9, 9, 8, and 8. Bad Influence gave it a 9 out of 10. Cube 3, 9 out of 10. Electronic Games, 93%. Honest Gamers, 10 out of 10. Mean Machines, 92. Nintendojo, 9.5. SNES Force, 90. And Thunderbolt, a 10 out of 10. So that looks like a mixture of like video games magazines of the time as well as some like websites and stuff like that.
Well, that's the average that Nintendo Power gave it to, because if you take the out of 5, the 4.4, and double it, that would be like an 8.8. I am disappointed with Google search AI again, because whenever you look for the rating, of course, the AI thing is the first thing that pops up now. It gives you a list from a bunch of different places like GameFAQs and Vim's Lair, and then at the bottom, it says inferring EGM rating. Given its status as a classic and the fact that it's still widely praised today, and considering high scores from other outlets, it's reasonable to expect EGM Super Nintendo rating was 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. If you want the exact EGM score, check out EGM SNES Game Rankings Archive. It's like, why not just pull it from the archive and give me the answer?
Stupid AI.
Billions of dollars going into AI research, and this is the reason.
Hey, we're destroying the Amazon rainforest and the oceans, but you got kind of a quasi answer to your question.
And the march of technology continues on.
Onward.
I love what the future will possibly hold. Can't even say it with a straight face. So, on that note, once again, you can find Berg on the Zing This podcast.
Woohoo!
If you want to give him a yell and say hi, be sure to drop in the Secret Levels Discord.
I'm there most nights.
Any other shout-outs or anything you want to do before we start to wrap her up?
I'm good. It's one of those things I wasn't prepared for, so I could probably think of, after we get done recording, I'll probably think of 5 million people to shout out. But yes, going back to Secret Levels, and I know you've mentioned this before, and everyone you pull from there, it either has a show or is involved with some show pretty much. So go back and listen to some other Afterglow episodes you maybe haven't listened to, or perhaps one you haven't listened to in a while, and you'll hear about some other great quality podcasts.
Just be careful if you listen to some of those from the first 20 or 30. They might be a little rough.
Hey, don't forget your origins. Some
of those origin stories aren't as good as others.
That's true.
All right, so we're going to play some outro music, and maybe another where, if you haven't heard it, I need to remember to throw away my Sonic the Hedgehog, that Sega Genesis commercial.
Yes, please do. That's a good one.
I have to have that in there, just to mess with the algorithm, if for no other. All right, let's see and find some music, and then we will roll our outro.
The Sega Genesis has blast processing. Super Nintendo doesn't. So what's blast processing do? And what if you don't have blast processing? Look out!
As always, thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to another episode of Afterglow. This one I'm kind of pushing up pretty quick. I usually try to listen through and cut some snippets out. I'm running really late in this one though, so I'm just kind of slapdashing it together and uploading it. So hopefully I didn't miss too much. But if you're wanting to listen to more Afterglow, check the show notes, check the link tree below. All kinds of different places you can listen. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, anywhere that's the most comfortable place for you to listen to. There's also links to tons of other shows and videos to watch. There's a link to the Patreon if you'd like to support the show that way. Don't feel like you need to, though, because, again, if you just leave a rating, leave a comment or anything, that's probably the best and cheapest way to support the show. Just get the word out there. As always, special shout-outs to Grim and Toby. Those two guys, respectively, did the show intro, outro music, and the show logo. Can never thank them enough. But again, thank you for listening, and I will hopefully be back here in a week or two for another episode. Until then, take a listen to some friends of the show.
For more than 15 years, Retro Gaming Roundup has been the center of your retro gaming universe, with top 10s, interviews, game reviews, news, and much more from all over the globe. Be sure to tune in every month for a new dose of Retro Gaming Roundup. That's RetroGamingRoundup.com.
Hello and welcome to the Reviews Brothers. It's me, Martin, and you can join me on YouTube where I have hundreds of videos covering a huge range of video game topics. I've got top 10s, hidden gems, console-focused A to Zs, as well as dedicated videos to topics like Doom mods, 3D platform games, ninja games, pirate games, and more. I cover all systems from Commodore 64 right up to modern consoles. Nothing gaming is off the table. So be sure to search for the Reviews Brothers on YouTube as well as on Instagram and TikTok for hundreds of retro and modern video game reviews.
Hey, this is Toby, one half of the Secret Levels podcast. We're a podcast that goes over old retro games. We go over the history, the story, the gameplay, some fun facts. We even rage a little bit. And then we go and give it a nice 1 to 10 rating to let you know if it's still worth playing. We have over 200 reviews for games on the NES, the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and many other consoles. You can find us on all the major podcasting apps, such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and you can follow us on social media at Secret Levels Pod. Game over, folks.
Imagine the most intense and realistic survival game ever built. Now imagine that you've just been dropped into it. No guides, no wiki, no respawn. Are you ready? Follow Daniel and Grace into a brutal landscape where the environment is just as lethal as the predators roaming it. This isn't about leveling up. It's about surviving a system designed to delete you. PvE, player versus everything. Book 1 of the Condemned in a Console series. Available now on Bookfuddle by Lord Stephen Asher.
Afterglow listeners, it's me, Keith Gasper, coming at you from the #1 retro gaming podcast, the Main Quest Podcast. Come hang out as a guest and I play and discuss a game from the backlog of my childhood. We're talking about our history and the history of the game, and if it's worth checking out today. We're talking about games from the NES, the Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx, Game Boy, and much more. And that's just on the main feed. If you enjoy what you're hearing on Afterglow, you're going to enjoy the Main Quest, and I'm happy to have you. Find the Main Quest on Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, Spotify, and wherever great podcasts are downloaded.
Hello, my name is Aaron. I'm one half of Super Pod Saga, a topical variety video game podcast fueled entirely by nostalgia and unleaded gasoline. Super Pod Saga, we discuss a different video game topic each and every week. We have new episodes every single Monday covering a different video game topic. More than anything, we want to entertain our listeners and make you feel like you're one of the boys, like you're hanging out at a campfire with some of your best zany, caffeine-powered buddies and just talking about your favorite games and all that stuff. Stop on down to Super Pod Saga. It's on every podcatcher there is. If it's not, let me know and we'll get on it. Again, Super Pod Saga, stop on by.